Have you ever watched a character on screen who felt larger than life, confident, fearless, unforgettable, and then suddenly you're reminded that behind that character is a human being facing real battles? Today, we're talking about a heartbreaking loss that has shaken fans around the world. Actor Eric Dane, the man who brought charisma and complexity to some of television's most iconic roles, has passed away at the age of 53 after battling ALS. This isn't just the story of an actor. It's the story of resilience, legacy, and the impact one person can have on millions of lives. Let's take a closer look at his journey, his final days, and the legacy he leaves behind. Eric Dane became a household name when he stepped into the role of Dr. Mark Sloan, better known as McSteamy, on Grey's Anatomy. From the moment he appeared on screen, he commanded attention. His character wasn't just a charming surgeon. He was layered, flawed, emotional, and deeply human. Audiences connected with him instantly. What made Eric Dane so special wasn't just his looks or his confidence. It was the depth he brought to every performance. He had the rare ability to make even the most complicated characters feel relatable. Over the years, Mark Sloan evolved from the bad boy of the hospital into a loyal friend, a loving father, and one of the show's emotional anchors. And through that transformation, fans saw Eric's talent shine, but his career didn't stop there. Years later, he introduced himself to a whole new generation of viewers through HBO's hit series Euphoria. In this intense, modern drama, he portrayed Cal Jacobs, a character very different from the charming surgeon fans once knew. Cal was complex, troubled, and deeply conflicted. It was a bold role, and Eric delivered a fearless performance that reminded everyone why he was such a powerful presence on screen. He wasn't afraid to take risks. He wasn't afraid to show vulnerability. And that courage defined his career. But behind the spotlight, Eric Dane was facing a battle far more difficult than any scripted storyline. He had been living with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, a progressive neurodegenerative condition that weakens muscles and affects the body's ability to function. It is a devastating diagnosis, one that changes life completely. For nearly a year, Eric quietly fought this illness. Despite the challenges, he continued working. In fact, before his passing, he completed filming scenes for the upcoming season of Euphoria, demonstrating incredible strength and dedication. That commitment speaks volumes about who he was, not just as an actor, but as a professional and as a person. Imagine knowing your time may be limited and still showing up to work, giving your all, and pouring everything into your craft. That's not just talent. That's courage. Eric Dane passed away surrounded by his loved ones, including his wife, actress Rebecca Gayheart, and their 2 daughters. In the end, it wasn't about fame or red carpets. It was about family. It was about love. And that's perhaps the most important part of the story. For many of us, Eric Dane was McSteamy. He was Cal Jacobs. He was the confident man on screen who seemed unstoppable. But to his family, he was a husband and a father. To his colleagues, he was a friend. To fans, he was an inspiration. When news of his passing broke, tributes flooded social media. Former co-stars, directors, and fans shared heartfelt messages about his kindness, professionalism, and the warmth he brought to every set. People spoke not only about his talent, but about his humility. That kind of impact cannot be faked. It comes from character. Let's take a moment to reflect on something powerful. Eric Dane's career spanned decades. He worked in television, film, and drama. He reinvented himself. He embraced new roles. He adapted to changing audiences. And even in the face of illness, he continued creating. That is legacy. Legacy isn't just about awards or ratings. It's about how people remember you. It's about the characters that stay with viewers long after the screen fades to black. It's about inspiring future actors to take risks and embrace vulnerability. And Eric did exactly that. His portrayal of Mark Sloan remains one of the most beloved characters in television history. His work on Euphoria proved he could evolve with the times. And his strength during his illness showed the world what resilience truly looks like. There's something deeply human about losing someone we've watched on screen for years. It feels personal. We may never have met him, but his work became part of our lives. We laughed with his characters. We cried during emotional scenes. We quoted his lines. That connection is real. And that's why this loss hits so hard. But in sadness, there is also gratitude. Gratitude for the performances. Gratitude for the memories. Gratitude for the courage he showed in his final chapter. If there's one lesson we can take from Eric Dane's life, it's this. Time is precious. Health is fragile. And passion matters. He continued to pursue his craft even when facing unimaginable challenges. He didn't let fear define him. He kept going. In a world that often feels uncertain, stories like this remind us to appreciate the people around us and the moments we have. So today, we remember Eric Dane not just as a television icon, but as a symbol of perseverance. A talented actor, a dedicated father, a loving husband, a man who gave his all, on screen and off. His characters will continue to live on in streaming platforms, reruns, and in the hearts of fans. Every time someone watches an old episode of Grey's Anatomy or tunes into Euphoria, a part of his legacy shines again. And maybe that's the beauty of art. Artists may leave us, but their work never truly dies. If you grew up watching Eric Dane, if Mark Sloan was one of your favorite characters, if his performance in Euphoria left you speechless, take a moment today to appreciate the stories that shape our lives. And let me know in the comments, what was your favorite Eric Dane moment? Was it a powerful emotional scene, a confident entrance into Seattle Grace Hospital, or a complex monologue in Euphoria? Let's celebrate his life together. If you found this video meaningful, please give it a thumbs up. It helps the channel more than you know. And if you want more updates, deep dives, and powerful stories like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Thank you for watching.